What is up guys, it's Martin here. So in this video, I'll be talking to you guys about how I do my journaling, what is my technique, and show you guys some tips and tricks on how you can do it as well with your own journals. So without further ado, let's get started. Obviously, the first thing you're gonna need is an actual journal, such as this one, the one I use. This is a very simple journal. I mean, it has pages in that, but it has a very specific feature. It's a dotted journal. What does that mean? It means that instead of having actual lines or squares, it actually has little tiny dots. As you can see, I don't know if you can see that right here, but yeah, it has really tiny dots. And what this allows you to do is be actually more creative in regards to what you're actually writing. If you want to do tables, you can do tables. If you want to do drawings, it will really help you out into perfecting those drawings because they will serve as guide points. But that's not our purpose here. We are not meant to draw. Of course, you are free to do so if you do so desire, but this is not our aim. Our aim is to actually take note of our thoughts in order to achieve a clearer state of mind and a more organized train of thought. So how do I do it? Very simple. The first thing I do is actually establish a timeline. Okay, as you can see in the screenshot of my sample page, I actually have my current date, because I always start with a current date, and I usually do it on a weekly basis. I used to do it on a daily basis, but I found out that it actually works best for me if I do it on a weekly basis, and I'll explain why in a minute. So you start out firstly with the current date, and then underneath that you can put your goals for that specific week. So in this week I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to, for example, I want to do exercise, workout like X times this week, and then I have to accomplish some certain goals, and I'll just write those goals as I go on a checklist format, just as the one as I'm showing you guys here. And then, very importantly, next to that said goal, I will actually put a why column. And why is this important? Because when I look to a specific goal, after I have written it down, if I know why I'm doing it or why I'm actually wanting to do it, that makes me feel more motivated in order to achieve that specific goal before the week ends. And I actually made a little note here. When I wrote this sample page, I did not have a red pen next to me. I actually made a little note to actually make this in a different color, something that stands out for you. So when you go back to your journal, you can actually take a look at it, and that is the same thing. It's the first thing that immediately pops out to your mind when you read it as to why you should accomplish that specific goal. After that week is done, I usually do a notes and review section, as you can see right here. This in this portion, I usually do my reflections on the day, what was accomplished, what wasn't, and why I wasn't able to do so. This is very good to organize your ideas, because if you're like me and you're usually a person that has very displaced thoughts, like all over the place, and you have such random ideas that just don't seem to connect between each other, this will help you greatly. And why is that? Because when you have this moment of reflection at the end of the week, you can actually start to see patterns in your train of thought and actually establish some ideas, or even face a problem that you might have. And with this, you can actually face that problem and actually be able to outline it, whereas before you weren't able to do so. At least this happened to me, so I suggest you guys try it out. Other than that, when an actual month is over, I actually do a review of that month, and so I do also reflections on that month and do just a general balance, or so to speak, a general summary of that month. And then that reflection would actually be more concise instead of a weekly one, as I mentioned before. Very importantly, in this monthly review, I always write down a special section which is called successes. In this section, I usually outline my successes for this month. If I accomplish a certain goal, the amount of times that I wanted to do, if I did something every day that I wanted to do, this will be a success, and this will be cumulative over time. It's very useful because when you go back to that month before, you can actually take a look at things in a different perspective, because this will stack and this will contribute to your momentum towards achieving the next month's goals and then the next year's goals. You see what I mean with this? You should try that out. It really works, at least it did for me. And also, very importantly guys, when you're writing down the goals for your next month, you should also do so on a medium term. Not so much in a small term, that is also important of course, but you should also try to outline your medium-term goal, something that you wish to achieve, but you don't know exactly when are you gonna be able to do so, but you know that you want to walk in that direction. You know that's the way you want to go. So as I outline here, then the next page will be dedicated to the short-term goals, which might be or maybe the goals for the upcoming month, and then the medium-term goals, which will be things that will take a little more time, but that you can do some actionable steps towards finally achieving those goals. So by now you might be asking yourselves, Martin, why should I do this? Why can't I just write my thoughts or whatever's on my mind on my computer or on my phone? I mean, you can, but I'm gonna tell you this, it's not the same. It's absolutely not. There's something about writing things down that makes the whole difference. When you write on a piece of paper, that thought that you have on your mind just becomes physically formed. It's literally out of your system into a physical sheet of paper. And when you see yourself with that thought in front of you, it gives you a whole different perspective, a perspective that sometimes might be life-changing. It might make you do a breakthrough that you otherwise wouldn't be able to. And this will cause you to have that so desired mental clarity. And believe me, if you don't have mental clarity, you'll know, because everything that you try to do or accomplish, everything that you think about when you're trying to explore some new idea or some new concept, everything seems foggy and slow and things don't seem to connect together between each other. So, with that being said guys, I'm gonna do a challenge for you. For the next 2 weeks, why don't you journal yourself? Try and note down your goals, and then after that week has ended, write down your reflections on that week. What have you accomplished? What have you not accomplished? Why was that so? Why weren't you able to do so? Why were you able to do so? And then you can tell me if that made a difference in your lives. At least it did for me. I can only speak for myself, of course, but I challenge you guys to do this as well. So that's it for me today guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I was intending to make this video as short as possible in order to convey my information faster, so you guys can get to work right away and try this out for yourselves. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to my channel and also drop a like on this video, and don't forget to put in the comment section your thoughts, your experiences, and if actually this worked out for you. It will make a huge difference to me if it did so. Without further ado, I'm Martin Shred, and I'll see you guys on my next video.